letter of James, it's all about stop treating people differently. Be, equitable about the way that you treat people. But unfortunately, because churches tend to deal with people in large numbers, and unfortunately they don't encourage a lot of interaction. So I used to think that people at the front, they just wanted me to sit there and listen to them every week. They didn't want to know what I thought. They didn't want to hear who I was at all. And that made me feel quite distant and isolated, even though I was in a large group of people. So I would say the red flags will be if people aren't engaging with you as who you are, and then when they find out who you are, don't accept who you are, I will kick that into touch as well. Find somewhere where people do not judge you by your status. Single, married, divorced, couldn't care less, want to have different partners, have had multiple partners, have been divorced more than one time. Whatever your situation, widowed, people should not look, and also I am talking to myself, I should not look at somebody by the outside, but who they really are. And who they really are is in the image of God after all. But unfortunately, churches probably in the past, and I'm not tarring them all with the same brush. They were quite often, for instance, if you were a married couple and you didn't have kids, do you not want, so, you're forced to be giving an explanation why, and all that kind of thing. No, you don't have to justify yourself to anybody. Thank you very much. Oh, do you not want to get married? Oh, there must be something wrong with her.
Eileen, I think...
Is she gay?
I think it comes back to sort of, it sounds weird, but Christians are strangely obsessed with sex.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
In a way that but not about, it's about having it, but only in this situation, or and it's all about control, to be honest, and often from a predominantly male leadership wanting to have control over that. I think, you hear about in very recent history, people needing to get the permission of the pastor before they started dating somebody or to marry somebody, and yeah, but God is not. That's not what God isn't about control. Church shouldn't be about control, and certainly not from any sort of patriarchal man wanting to control what's going on in people's lives. As pastor, I really don't want to know about anyone's sex lives, right? Whether you're having it or you're not, I really don't want to know, right? It's none of my business. So please don't tell me. That's not what church is about, obviously. It's bizarre in a way that sometimes you feel need to share that. Anyway, Julie.
Right, okay. Has people written anything down that they would like to share? Please speak up. Have we got another mic?
Yeah, I could bring it down if anyone wants to wave. Peter, you want to say?
Just some thoughts. Okay, this is just what I've written down. The only marriage that Jesus knew was Jewish, and we are Gentiles. In the UK, great numbers of people live alone, are celibate, and will never marry. Most relationships happen in cyberspace, and Christianity has strong challenges to face.
Thank you, Peter. Good points.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Amanda?
Related to that cyber point, people aren't engaging in social contact as much working from home. They don't have encounters with at the office and things like that. So I think we're a more isolated society. Marriage can bring community, sharing, and the negative of that is loneliness, isolation.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think actually, well, freedom and peace. I think there's a lot of, loneliness is an issue, isn't it? But I actually think that's where church could and should be
Yes.
really powerful
Absolutely.
in providing that companionship for people who choose or are not in a relationship. Chris, do you want me to read it? Yeah, please. Okay, so being single has advantages like less stress, can do what they genuinely are not many negatives for some single people. The disadvantages are sometimes you get dysregulated because you're on your own. There is worry involved in being single, so over being married, civil partnership, there is baggage involved. Either way, it's to do with how we were brought up. Myself, I would not deal with being single. I wouldn't want to feel lonely. Yeah? I think there's a lot
Thanks,
of societal
Chris.
pressure to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Anyone else?
Go on, Sarah. Be brave.
Lillian?
You don't have to.
One positive thing that I can think of, that maybe for single people, and that's sort of when they're on their own, you can be free to do what you want and to make your own choices. You don't have to be guided by what your partner is saying or you whatever. And that, I mean, many of you know that we've been married a long time, and the actual fact, I got engaged at school. I got engaged at school. Yeah. Yeah, sixth form. Yeah. So it was more for myself. I've never been single as such. It's just good. I mean, that relationship sharing with Wayne is different things.
Is it all right if I say some of the things I've found a challenge over the years? Yeah. Yeah, based on what I've said earlier, difficulty finding a suitable partner in church. Because, yeah, for the reasons I said, that we were told, or you can only marry a Christian. And of course, there are more women in church than men. Not being part of a nuclear family and all that encompasses. Obviously, I've got my own family, brothers, parents, but they live a long way from me. Coming to meetings and events alone. Feeling that church does not acknowledge my experience when the norm is seen as being married or family life. Feeling invisible or on the sidelines. Being seen as being free to serve because I haven't got family responsibilities, e.g. babysitting. All the single people had to babysit every week at church house, which I didn't mind at all, but it's just that kind of expectation.
I find that mad, Julie. Like the idea that the church doesn't think you have to do this, just as a whole. It's
Well,
like,
yeah.
or like that guilting you in. It's just so wrong. Sorry, carry on.
The longing for a partner or family being highlighted on Mother's Day or Father's Day, Valentine's Day. Yeah. No church activities specifically with my situation in mind. You know, there was always, like they said in the film, children's work, youth work, young adults group, older persons group, support for married couples. But then if you're over 30, you're on your own kind of thing. I did start up a singles group when I was in Life Church. And to be fair, as you're an adult, the expectation is it's up to you. And I suppose that's a fair argument, but it doesn't help single people feel seen and heard or valued in church. Some singles have no natural family nearby, myself included, and are reliant on church for family-type relationships. It is always lovely to be invited into people's homes when you're single. And then there's things like Easter and Christmas. What do single people do then? Do they go, have they got family they can go to, or are they left on their own kind of thing? Yeah, that's mainly my experience. Of course, there are positives. You've got more time to spend with God, or to read the Bible and time on your own. When you're married, you don't have that as much. Support your friends and other people. You've got more time to do that. You can choose what TV you want to watch. Go on holiday with friends, but then that can also be a challenge because you might not have friends who want to do the same thing as you. Yeah.
I think it comes back to quote Eileen, you do you.
Yeah.
You do you, and church or leadership or anybody else shouldn't be pressuring you to do anything other than being you and you do you. Whether that's however you want to live your life. It's as simple as that.
It's quite hard though when you've had a history of not hearing that, and
And
but you have to. I agree. You have to find what's right for you, and find what makes you happy. At the end of the day,
I'll be honest. I think it's appalling the church's record on this and so many other things, and is responsible for a lot of trauma that as a global church we have to own and acknowledge and work with in this and so many other issues.
But another thing with singles, everybody's created for relationship and companionship, and that doesn't have to be in marriage, does it?
No.
We find that in our friends, other people. And I think our cafe community is a great example of where we've made community, where relationships are being built. And I think that is just a really good example of church working well.
100%. So do we want to try and... So this is the form we've got to fill in, isn't it, for part of the audit? Is it... I know you're going to try and tie this together, but I think it'd be great if we just sort of put an outline of what we can put in these boxes together now. So we're all involved in this process. So there's two columns, I don't know how well you can read that. So the first column is things we are already doing that are single friendly, and the second column is actions we're going to take, and there's 5 steps: know your community, messaging, welcome and belonging, teaching and leadership.
Under the know your community, it's considering what types of single people there are in the church, i.e. never married, divorced, separated, widowed, single parents, elderly living alone. So I think we've got all of those people in our church, haven't we?
This is like the good example. This is like the example of that they give us of. Obviously, this won't all apply to us, but it's useful to think about. You know what I might do is I might edit this. I think if I edit this this example one, to make it applicable to us. So I think that's all. Applicable, isn't it? People are single across the ranges. Many are single parents and married, but are single in faith. What does single in faith mean?
What does that mean? No, delete that.
Oh, maybe, yeah, that their partner isn't.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they're in faith.
Yeah.
But yeah. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
So the actions that this example one, leaders and singles advocates to commit to thinking about how we can better support single parents and their needs. We will look up our local area demographics online. I don't know, can you get data on that sort of stuff? Like,
Don't know. That, one of the suggestions is to think what their specific experiences and needs might be, and how might the church welcome more of these types of people and ensure the church values them. Well, I think we do value people.
I think that's one of our strengths, isn't it?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, and I certainly don't think that any of the teaching or the theology that we are, where we are now, is going to be of an issue to any of that. Although if it is, I'd love to know about it so we can sort that out. I think more of our responsibility here is looking at addressing historical misconceptions, I guess, and not just trying to pretend that the past hasn't happened, and how do we actively address to correct that. Is anything anyone would like us to add to that? Things that we can, about knowing our community?
Talking about welcoming people in when we're at the door. I remember when I went to a church and I was very nervous, but I was on my own, and there were two people, a married couple, on the welcoming on the door, and they really ministered to me. They really ministered to me. Just the fact that they greeted me and in the way that they did it really ministered to me, and it made me feel that I wasn't totally on my own, and it made me feel quite at ease and not anxious about going to that church. But it can be a real ministry. It can be a real ministry, can that?
Absolutely. Okay, I've just added to that, continue to address historic issues around pressure to be in a relationship.
I think that continue to address historic issues means, to me, that some people might come with, we might not be being like that or doing like that anymore, but people come in slightly hypersensitively to things that have happened in the past. You know, they may have been treated badly because they were divorced. Mm-hmm. They have had things said to them because they were divorced. And so we have to be aware that individuals are going to be maybe living out of the past, but that past is their reality until they are able to embrace a present or a future that is different. We certainly don't want to reinforce anything that has happened in the past to people.
So I guess it's about identifying if and when new people join us and being more proactive. Like, we're very proactive in our social media presence around LGBT inclusion and all of that side of stuff. But we should maybe have a bit more of a presence around making clear to people externally what maybe there needs to be.
Yeah.
I don't know where this goes. Maybe this goes under messaging here. So this one, we're going to change some of the images on our website. We don't really have staff bios on our website. Mm-hmm. Encourage a celebration of and then I think I'm going to add to this about add a page, like we've got a page on the website about inclusive church, add a page on the website about single friendly church and what that means, and actively address those misconceptions.
Can I just say on the bit above, I think you don't need to put parents, just single people.
And where's that, sorry?
The one that one you've put support single parents, just single.
Yeah, sorry, that was the default one that was there, but yeah,
Single
definitely
people.
change it.
Because obviously, yeah. I think one positive thing around messaging is that quite often you talk about church family, which is good, because that includes everybody. Yeah.
If I get any time, or maybe if anyone else, maybe I'm not the best person to write this, but maybe Eileen, would you consider writing a blog or something we could put on the website about this? Just about what we've been referring to about something that is somebody who was brought up historically in how our church has operated, wanted to know where we stand on it. Something that they could be directed to and might show up in search engines and stuff. Yeah, don't worry about the search engine bit. Just write a blog aimed on people who have maybe grown up in the same environment that you and Julie did, and that would be useful if they were single.
You know, another thing we do pretty good on Mother's Day. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, carry on.
Father's, I think that's always been dealt with well, that the single women, ladies rather than mothers exclusively, you know.
Yeah. And I think I'll add to this that I would certainly say something about I'm just putting our changes in red. So our inclusive church focus and lack of judgment. We can expand on that, can't we? But that's, I think so welcome and belonging. We welcome everyone on arrival, well, the best we can with the limited sort of manpower that we have, or people power. We welcome everyone on arrival. Volunteers have been trained to not ask inappropriate questions. I mean, I don't think we have actually, have we? But
no. Yeah.
Well, I think it's like if two people walk in, we're like, oh, you're inquiring about whether they're married or not, or going up to somebody and somebody like, oh, so where's your partner? How like?
Yeah.
That could be like how not to do church.
But it happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, all the worst things that people do.
I think for single people, just feeling being welcomed, and if somebody say, how are you even, is helpful. Or how's your week been, or you know, rather than feeling.
I think because some people, I don't know, sometimes I know there's people who feel like an overpressure. Like I've walked into churches but like just visiting, and I've been over-welcomed in the past. Yeah.
They want to remain just observant. Some people want to be welcome and really appreciate it, and other people be made don't want to be made self.
No. I've walked into churches and been forced to have a hug on my way in. I'm like, who are you?
I'll tell you one of the worst things that I've heard.
Just use a microphone, Eileen.
One of the worst things I've heard said to somebody in a church, there's a lot of really bad things, but one was a lady who came in a shower camise, right? And they said, oh, are you a Christian now? Oh, yes, I am. Well, you know, you don't have to wear that now. I mean, I'm laughing, it's so bad. That's why. It was so bad. You don't have to dress like that now. Honestly, Can you believe it? No, but honestly, they were really seriously trying to be helpful. And so, but I think we could all probably think of really bad things that have been said to people. But in some ways, they give feedback as to how that group of people are viewing their community, really.
I went into a church. Well, I was a part of the first church I went, and there was like a fuss club, what I call a fuss club. You know, like, there was a group of people, there was a clique between certain people, and if your face didn't fit, you weren't included, and you weren't included. And I've been in those situations as well.
And people walking around may have that history. They may have that history of church being like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the last bit of this then is around teaching. We have a good mix. So this is on the.
Oh, can we go back to number
sorry, yeah.
3? I think one of the good things we do is have, like after the meeting, quite often we go for lunch together, and that includes everybody. 'Cause I think one thing that single people can feel is, you know, you've been with all these people at the meeting, then you go home to an empty house. You know, it's just, it makes you feel included if you you can go out for lunch.
Yeah, no, that's great.
And pub church is like that as well, isn't it?
Yeah. That's great. Okay. So, I mean, welcome and belonging. Yeah. Okay. So then, teaching. We have a good mix of people who speak at our church, and well, I'm not single. What should we say? Many in the leadership team.
Well, single people are encouraged to speak. Yeah.
Well, whether you're the silly thing is, isn't it? Is whether your relationship status doesn't affect your ability to preach or be in a leadership team, does it? Like, so why would I just don't know why that would be an issue? Go on, Chris. Hmm. Yes. Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah. Even just our trip to East Wales and Hall in the summer, wasn't it? It was nice. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Were any of the disciples married? We don't know, do we? No.
I think Ian Russell was single, but then he got married.
Yeah, but it was on the list.
Yeah.
Our sermon.
Most
Yeah.
of the lack of opportunity.
So singleness is not a barrier to leadership in our church.
In fact, Paul said, actually, on the whole, if you're going to go all out and do a lot of, you're better if you're not in a relationship, because you get the chance. You've got more leeway, basically, is what he said. And that never got forced in the church, everything else did.
So I think maybe on the things to improve on that side of things is just about being more proactive in addressing the historical issues and hate live typing. Yeah. So, there you go. There we go. Excellent. Okay. Is there anything else then? I'm conscious of time here, but I feel like that was a really useful. But I think the big summary, as I said, is you do you, and our job, my job as pastor, the job of the leadership team, and all of our collective job as a church is to help people feel comfortable being them, being you. Full stop.
Yeah, whatever their situation.
Whatever that looks
But
like.
also taking into being mindful of the situation they're in, I
Mhm.
think. Yeah. Or from, yeah.
Anyone want to add anything else then before we wrap that up? No? I just really want to say thanks to Julie for raising this as something that I do think is really important. So you're going to, that will be on the link that you've already got, the amends I've made today. It's on, like, if you scroll to the bottom of the Word document, I've done it on, like, the template one. And I'll show you. But then if you want to have a type, I'll fill that up and then send it to me, and I'll probably add a few bits to it, and then we'll get that sent off, and I'll work on adding something to a website. Eileen's going to write a blog, and that's great. Oh, bread and wine, of course. Okay, shall we worship and then let's sing one song while we share the bread and the wine? Wayne, Lillian, are you wanting to share anything? No? No, you want to? No, that's fine. Oh, you do want to?
Yeah, I was just thinking this morning, just how faithful God is to us, and we started with praise and worship song, and I was thinking, well, all we do is focus on God, and that just lifts our hearts to want to praise and to worship Him, and acknowledge Him and build our relationship with Him. So I can just think of that while going to bread.
I just want to speak the name of Jesus over every heart and every mind, 'cause I know there is peace within your presence. I speak Jesus. I just want to speak the name of Jesus till every dark addiction starts to break, declaring there is hope and there is freedom. I speak Jesus. Your name is power, your name is healing, your name is life. Break every stronghold, shine through the shadows, burn like a fire. I just want to speak the name of Jesus over fear and all anxiety, to every soul held captive by depression. I speak Jesus. Your name is power, your name is healing, your name is life. over every enemy. Jesus, for my family, I speak the holy name, Jesus. Shout Jesus from the mountains, Jesus in the stream, Jesus in the darkness over every enemy. Jesus for my family, I speak the holy name, Jesus. Your name is power, your name is healing, your name is life. Break every stronghold, shine through the shadows, burn like a fire. Your name is power, your name is healing, your name is life. Break every stronghold, shine through the shadows, burn like a fire. I just want to speak the name of Jesus over every heart and every mind. 'Cause I know there is peace within your presence. I speak Jesus.
Let's pray to finish then. So, living God, I thank you for our discussion this morning. I thank you for how you care deeply about each and every one of us, regardless of any characteristics that you don't want us to fit to the societal expectations, whether those are created by the church or outside of the church. You just want us to be the uniquely wonderful, beautiful image of God that you created us to be. And just help us to be secure in being ourselves, not trying to be anything else to please anybody else or to do what you think anyone else should expect of us, but just to be secure and happy in being ourselves. Just thank you for Julie and the discussion she's led us in, and I pray that it will really have this process will have a meaningful impact on how we operate as a church and on people who are affected by singleness and the issues around this. So, yeah, thank you for the wisdom from this morning, and bless these wonderful people as we go about this next week. Amen.